clash over General Motors closing plants and cutting jobs. Our next guest is trying to get some progress with GM in Ohio. He is the senator from Ohio, Senator Rob Portman, Republican. What are your chances of getting General Motors to reverse its decision on cuts and plant closures?
Well, I hope it's good because that plant has been terrific for GM. As you may know, Stuart, J.D. Power in 2018, this year, said it was their best plant in terms of quality, least defects. So the plant has produced well for General Motors. It's a huge asset. I mean, I can't believe they just walk away. So we think the workforce deserves to have a chance to build a new product. I understand that the Cruze isn't selling well. That's a market condition. We get that, but we also understand the fact that this community and these workers have done their part for GM, and we want to have the opportunity to show it again. So my hope is that as GM is talking about building 20 new electric vehicles, that's 20 new models in the next 5 years alone, that they give us the chance to build one or more of those models in Youngstown. So we're continuing conversations with them, and I hope it'll be successful.
Frankly, Mr. Senator, I think they owe it to you. I mean, the taxpayer bailed them out. Ohio has been their home for heaven knows how many years. To walk away from it at a time like this when they're making a significant profit, I think is just the wrong move. A terrible public relations move at the very least.
Well, I think you're absolutely right. And Stuart, the other part of this, you and I both strongly supported tax reform because our tax system was broken, and part of it was to increase investment in America. By the way, General Motors did very well with that. In other words, they've got a lower rate, they've got the ability to immediately expense their investment in the plant. And so the tax bill encourages them to do the right thing. So does the regulatory reforms we put in place. So all we have done in terms of policy here in Washington should encourage them to do the right thing by Ohio. They've always made cars in Ohio. This would be the first time they weren't assembling a car in Ohio.
Yeah, they got to do it. The maker of the opioid antidote drug, the Naloxone, I believe it's pronounced, they've lowered their prices to $178, down from $4,100. And I think you had something to do with this price decline. Will you tell us, please?
Yeah. Well, naloxone is the miracle drug that reverses the effects of an overdose. And sadly, in my state, in so many states, it's the #1 public health crisis is these overdoses. So people need this Narcan, which is a name of naloxone. The first responders need it, the hospitals need it. And yet, unbelievably, in the last 2.5 years, this drug has increased by about 600%, the cost of this drug. Why? Because they could do it, because they worked out a deal with Medicare and others to have this deemed a medically necessary drug. And so they just raised the price dramatically. It cost the taxpayers, it obviously cost a lot of people who are trying to use this miracle drug to reduce the effects of the overdose. And so we took them on and issued a report, and sure enough, this week they reduced the cost.
Yeah.
I'm pleased they did it.
Just like General Motors closing plants, pricing a drug like that, the public won't stand for it. Mr. Senator, congratulations, you got the price down.
Thanks, Stuart.
Thanks for joining us, sir. Thank you.
Always good to be on with you. Take care.
Thank you, sir.